Okay. I hope that the lighting looks relatively okay. Milano. 3, 2, 1, and we're in. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Rena and what is the Bumbaclat? What's up? Subscribe, will ya? So, hope you guys are enjoying this setup. I don't know. This is making me so uncomfortable right now, a little bit. Because I want to try something new, but it's not really making sense to me right now. I don't know. It just feels so out of... Hold up a second. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can try and fix this, bitch. Oh my God, I'm roasting, guys. It's like, whoa, what's the weather's looking like today? 16 degrees and I'm boiling. I'm freaking boiling. Oh my God. Ireland, not you being a bear, bitch. Anyways, yeah. So, hey, guys. How you guys doing? What's up? What's the tea? How has life been for my people there? Comment down below. Let's chit chat. Tell me what's going on with yous. For me, I've been good. Obviously, I came back for my birthday. If you guys watched my vlog, I went to Valencia for my 21st, and it was absolutely amazing. I definitely needed that break, and I'm ready to honestly leave the country again. I want to go again. I want to go somewhere this summer. Don't know where, don't know when, but I want to dip out of this country again this summer. So we'll figure that out once we get to that stage of life. But yeah, so as I said, I vlogged the whole trip. Go watch that. It's probably like the second video down. But yeah, there are some bumps in the mix right now. But, you know, we're working our way through that. We're keeping positive energy, positive vibes, positive thoughts. And we'll get through it out on the other end because we bear bitches and that's what we do. Period. Today, as you can tell by the title, I wanted to talk about things we need to untaboo. Because if you know me, I love to talk. I'm a talker. I love to communicate. I think a lot as well. I love to just sponge up information from everywhere and anywhere. And one thing I've noticed when I came to, especially with like my podcast side of things, we'll be back very, 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 very soon. So stay tuned for that. But one thing I just noticed when it came to like talking to people is how people shy away from certain conversations until you bring it up and you create that safe space to talk about it. And then it's like it just opens up a whole can of worms and you're like, oh my God, like I didn't know that you thought about this type of way, or you had this type of idea or perspective or perception on something, or I didn't know you were going through this type of thing until you actually like provide that space for people to talk about it. So I have a few lists of stuff that I wanted to bring up, I guess, on my side of things, of what I feel like we need to untaboo. And as a society, we need to like become more comfortable having conversations about this, because it could save so many of us from repeating same mistakes, from having the same experiences. If others knew that like, yo, I've been through this is what not to do, or if you have been through this is how to kind of like get out of it so it's not damaging you or damaging your mental health, or even just, or it's like, oh, I'm also interested in this, so you don't need to feel shy, or you don't need to like reject that side of yourself if it's something that's been brewing on your mind, or if, I don't know, do you get what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. So sit back, relax, add your two cents in the comment section. Let me know what things that you guys want to untaboo as well, or DM me on Instagram or something like if you want to have a chit chat. So yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about, right, is something that pertains to women. Actually, you could too for men as well, but I think this specific topic is for women. Is infertility. Yeah. And specifically, I'm going to even specify on being like knowing that you are infertile before you even get to the age of like wanting to actually have a family and settle down, due to endometriosis, due to PCOS, due to whatever menstrual or ovary issues that you have. Or whatever other issues that you also chronic illnesses or whatever that you also have that, you know, leads to that. And for me, infertility is a very, very big thing that I won't lie is hitting me. I'll be so real. Like, I'm actually terrified because obviously, okay, for me, I started my menstrual cycle when I was like 13. And it's kind of funny because I remember the day that I got it, like the first time I got it. I remember that exact day. It lasted for like 7 days. I was in hell. Like, I actually was going through it. But from that moment on till now, at my big age of 21, like, I get bad cramps. Like, my menstrual cycle is probably like the worst time of the month for me. I'll be so real. Like, I go through hell, as in hell. Like, I know my women out there understand what I'm talking about. Like, I go through hell and back on a mental thing, emotional thing, financial thing, because obviously products to keep yourself together, it costs a lot of money. And especially if you, as I said, get really, really bad cramps, like to the point where like it knocks you out. Even medication, having to buy medication, it can get very, very expensive, like, because you're having to drug yourself up every fucking 5 seconds just to be at peace, like. But yeah, so obviously as time went on and I got older, like, at first I thought it was normal that everyone was like just suffering on their reds, until I got older and I started to do more research and I started to talk to a lot more like older women, and they'd be like, bro, like, this is not normal. Like, you shouldn't be passing out every time. You shouldn't be passing out every time you're on your reds. Like, you should not be numb. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should not be like weak as hell, like, to this point. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it should not be causing you this much pain. So I like, to the point where, like, even during school times, like, I would fully like not come into school because I'm like, I cannot function. Like, I generally, like, as I said, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, like, I cannot function, my nigga. So that's when the topic of like endometriosis and PCOS started to come up when I would talk to like older women, or like every time like I would like research my symptoms or research the things that I go through, it would always lead me back to like endometriosis and PCOS. So now I'm in this phase of my life now where I'm trying to get like tested, and I'm trying to like see what the hell is wrong with me, trying to go to a gynecologist. But it's been proving me quite difficult right now, only because like obviously with the public health care system, I used to be like on the medical card and stuff like that. So I would try to, when I went down that route, they would always just tell me just to go on the pill. And if you know me, we don't do them things around here, baby. I'm very iffy when it comes to medication and being prescribed certain things, or I'm very iffy when it comes to like things that I have to consistently be on, and I have to add it into my routine consistently just to keep me functioning normally. No. A tablet that I don't know what the hell is being made out of, you're telling me to shove it down my throat every freaking day at the exact same time, or else it'll mess me up. And not to mention that there's so many other complications on top of that. You must be taking the piss. That's not happening, my nigga. No. So, and then even to try and get on the gynecologist list, it's like a 2-year wait list. And I was like, are you actually dumb? So the only way I can really go about that is to just go private and pay it myself, which is not cheap. It's not cheap. So I'm just kind of in the process of that right now. But yeah, so obviously, and it's crazy because I've met other women that do have PCOS or do have endometriosis and end up finding out too late. Like, because from my own research anyways, there's like 4 stages. So once you get to like stage 3, stage 4, you're like in the critical stage where it could get to as bad as like being infertile. Like, you can't have babies. Like, do you know what I mean? And I've met some women that have told me that they found out when they were like 17, 16, 18 and end up finding out that they can't have children. Bro, imagine being 16, 17, 18, finding out that you can't have kids. Like, if you're somebody that doesn't want kids, then that's fine. Do you know what I mean? That's cool. But as somebody, for me, that does plan to have children and does plan to like settle down and like build a family, the thought of that actually like scares me. I think that's why like I've waited so long to actually like try and get results or try and see what's going on with me, because bro, like, I am shitting myself. I like that gives me so much anxiety, and there's so much fear that I am currently feeling right now or going through right now, that it's like I want to know, because if I do have it, then obviously then I can figure out how to like combat it in a way, or try and like have my life a lot more easier. At least I know what's going on. Do you get what I mean? But then it's like, if I then find out that I'm like in the later stages of things and I can't have children, even though I know that there's other ways to like, have babies and stuff like that, or there's other ways of like, building a family. But it's just, I don't know, like obviously we would all love to go like the natural way of birth and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just a bit of a mess up for me right now. It's a big mind fuck for me right now. And I just feel like as women, and I think what doesn't help even more is the fact that there's not enough research in the medical field on women's menstrual cycle and women's health in general, period. Like there's literally little to no research or like concrete, solid substance of material around women's health and women's menstrual cycle specifically. So it's like, you don't know what you don't know. Do you know what I mean? And if there's professionals out there that don't even have the information out there for you, how are they going to help you when they themselves don't even know jack shit? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not taught in the curriculums. It's not taught in schools. It's not taught in families and homes because they don't even know themselves. So yeah, a little word of advice, a little word to like the people that are out there, especially if you're a woman in the medical field, please, especially my scientists out there, please get into women's menstrual health. And I'm sure there's big money in there as well. If you don't give a fuck about saving the people, but you only want to make money, bro, get into women's shit. Like, we need it. Come on, please. Do you get me? But yeah, I just think as women as well, we should openly be able to have we should be openly be able to have those conversations with each other. That it's like, bro, I struggle with this like consistently and I'm low-key shitting myself because it's like, I don't know how this is going to develop for me as I get older. This is also for women too. Not everything's going to be for women here, but just because I'm a woman, do you know what I mean? It's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But another thing that I feel like we should be able to untaboo, specifically as women, is speaking up when it comes to like intimate adult action moments, play time, if you get what I mean. But yeah, because I know I'm not the only one that has gone through this either, where it's like you're having a very intimate moment with a partner and they're just not doing what needs to be done. They're just not hitting what needs to be hit. They're not pleasuring you. They're not satisfying you. Like, you feel uncomfortable. You feel like you're just not in the moment. Like, it's not, the moment is just not it. And I feel like as women, we don't talk about this enough. Because I don't know if anybody else feels like this as well. But for me, I know there's been times where I've been in those situations and it's like, in a way, you're kind of scared to even say something because it's like, I don't know how you're going to react to me saying like, bro, I'm not enjoying this. I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Because like, let's be honest, like, obviously as women, we all know that like being intimate with, let's say men specifically, is a very vulnerable and sometimes scary situation to be in because it's like, especially when it comes to speaking up, because it's like, I don't know how you're going to react. By me saying something could easily like hurt your ego, because we all know how men and their egos are. And that could trigger something in your brain to want to hurt me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm in such a very, very vulnerable position right now that I don't know what's going to happen. So I'd rather just firm it and wait till the moment is finished and go about my life after that, which is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Because I know for me anyway, and I can only speak from my own experience that, like, as I said, I've been in experiences and situations like that. And I've just firmed it. And it's like afterwards, you feel so disgusting. Like you don't even feel human anymore. Like you feel so like, you feel used in a sense. You feel just like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it sounds so fucked up, but like, it's a real life feeling. Like, it's an actual thing. And I know there's a plethora of women that can also like agree with me on this, and like they've also experienced this type of situations as well. And it's just not right that like, even in something that's supposed to be a pleasurable experience for both parties involved or for all parties involved, I feel like I have to silence myself for my own protection, for my own safety, because I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know where your ego is. I don't know how solid and centered you are in your own masculinity to be able to take constructive criticism, or to be able to take when somebody's saying like, bro, I don't like this, or bro, this doesn't feel good to me, or bro, like, can we like switch it up? Do you know what I mean? I guess that can come down to being more careful with the people that you are sexually intimate with and stuff like that, which to an extent that is true. But at the end of the day, you don't know anybody as well as you think you do. Like, you'll never truly 100% know a person. Do you get what I mean? And that small little scenario could be the triggering factor to completely like switch them. And next thing you know, you've seen a completely different side to them that you have never experienced before. And you're like, whoa, who the hell is this person? Do you get me? So, yeah. Let me know if you've experienced that, and how you feel like we should evolve, and how you feel like we should deal with, if you have been in that situation, how did you deal with it, to where both parties are able to move on from it and nobody feels like uncomfortable, and like, do you know what I mean? Let me know what you guys have to say in the comment section below. And then segueing to like the whole sexual side of life. I don't know if I'm able to say the word masturbation. If not, I think so. I should be able to say it. But yeah, even with women and masturbation, especially African women, I'm gonna even more specify to this African women as well, because there's never any education about self-pleasure. I feel like that side of life is so freaking taboo in the African culture, Nigerian culture, just Africans in general, black people. Do you get what I mean? I feel like, especially when it comes to women, because I think obviously a lot of us grew up in a very religious household, and more time what's the agenda that's been pushed onto us is, as a woman, you need to save yourself for your husband, you stay a virgin until you get married, purity culture, of a woman being pure, of women, do you know what I mean? Like the whole purity culture has kind of been pushed onto us from young. Do you get what I mean? Which is not a healthy tactic at all, I genuinely believe, because I feel like, even going back to the whole not being able to voice your opinion, I feel like when you're in those moments, I feel like how do you expect somebody else to pleasure you and to satisfy you if you don't even know what you like yourself? And it goes back to even saying the saying of like, how do you expect someone to love you if you don't even love yourself? How do you expect other people to respect you if you don't even respect yourself? Do you know what I mean? It's the exact same thing. And I'm not to like come at religion, because I feel like people think I hate religion, which is not the case at all. But not even to come at religion, but I feel like that's one thing that religion does so poorly, especially for women, because obviously there's a whole saving yourself for marriage. But then it's like, what if you get married now and your partner just isn't hitting it the way it needs to be hit? Like, do you know what I mean? But because you have censored yourself and you have detached yourself from that side of life, especially as a woman, where we are naturally sensual beings, where we exude that natural sensuality and sexuality, like that's naturally within us. And now you've gone your whole life detaching yourself from that side of who you are, to now have to try and navigate that with a partner that doesn't know you, doesn't know your body or what you like, and you don't even know your own body or what you like. It's going to cause friction. It's going to cause conflict. It's going to cause tension within your relationship, regardless. Because I remember I had this conversation with this girl. Yeah, I didn't know her. Like we just knew each other off socials, but I did a shoot with her because obviously I'm a photographer. If you don't know, get to know, book me. I'm lit. Period. But yeah, so I did a shoot with her, and obviously because I'm just a weird little chick and I like to talk about random stupid shit with people, we were talking about masturbation and like how it's never spoken about in the black community. And I'm gonna, specifically in Ireland anyways, like it's not really a thing that people talk about. I was asking, I was like, do you masturbate? Like, what's going on there? Like, are you into all that stuff? And And her responses, I was so amazed by. Like, I was actually really taken aback, because there was I don't know, because obviously, like, she was into it and all that stuff, but, like, you would never guess it. Or, like, even she was saying that, like, she feels uncomfortable sometimes when, like even she, not even uncomfortable, but, like, even she was saying, like, how, like, she was surprised that I even asked that question, because it's not something that is talked about at all in the community, especially amongst women, that people normally, like, people just kind of do it in their own private life, which I get, I understand, but then it's like, that's where problem can arise. In society, like, as a woman, you're kind of, this idea of being a freak and having to please the man and having to, like, you feel like you have a job to fulfill. That, like, if you aren't satisfying him, if you're not fulfilling him, if it's not pleasurable for him, if he doesn't, like, reach a certain climax or whatever, then it wasn't good. But then it's like, you're left, you yourself are left feeling disgusting. You're left feeling like, ew. Do you get what I mean? I don't know. Let me know if I'm making sense in the comment section. I don't know. But another topic that I want to bring up, yeah, and this has recently sprung into my mind because of the job, the Matrix 9-to-5 work life that I do. And it's crazy though, because obviously, like, I'm really grateful for being in that job, because it showed me so much about humans, about, like, psychology, because I'm very into psychology. Humans, how humans develop, psychology, how society works, sociology. Like, it's really, like, opened my mind to a lot of, like, the way society moves. And I'm not happy with us. I'll be so real. I'm not, because, okay, I work in a homeless shelter. So obviously we get a lot of, like, drug addicts and mentally, like, unwell. I hate that terminology, but, like, people that suffer with mental issues, like severe mental issues, schizophrenics, people that have come out of jail for, like, a long period of time and don't really know how to, like, function to society properly. People that, like, have come out of war, like, they went fighting into the military and they've come out of it, so now, like, they're struggling to, like maneuver into society, and their mental health is all over the place. I've interacted with, like, a lot of people going out into the world, interacting with, like, quote unquote normally functioning people, and how they talk about drug addicts, how they talk about homeless people, how they talk about, like, schizophrenics or people that, like, are just pushed on the outskirts of society, or, like, belittled or degraded or looked down upon in society, how they talk about them, how they treat them. Bro, like, it really, like, shows you how entitled or how arrogant, how ignorant, how, I don't know, how just people see others in the world. So I understand why, or I understand why and how society looks and talks about these outliers, but I don't like it. Because it's like, as I said, I've talked to a lot of people, like, people that, like, specifically, like, drug addicts, alcohol addicts, schizophrenics. I've talked to a lot of these people. I've interacted with them, known about their childhood. They've opened up to me about crazy things that they've been through in their life. Women that have gone through, like, gone through, like, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, from partners to family members. Women that have had to experience, like, miscarriages and or their children, like, committing, do you know what I mean? And how that mentally, like, messes you up, which then, because of that trauma, triggers them into going down, like, the whole drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, or triggers schizophrenia, or triggers some type of mental issue, which leads them to where they are now. And it's like, And because I am very into psychology, it's like the more you talk to these people and like understand their past, understand what they've been through, understand the trauma that they've had to go through, I get it. Like, this level of like empathy and sympathy that I have for them that like develops, or that has developed in me. Because I feel like I've always been an empathetic person, but it's like when you're like pushed into that like area of life and you interact with these people and you give these people like a safe space to talk and to be open, like kind of like a therapy session in a sense, and you give these people like a safe space to talk and to be vulnerable and to be emotional, men and women. Like, I've talked to men and women in this side of life as well, and it's always the same past. It's always the same, like, it's always like the same type of trauma in a sense that always leads them to where they are now. It's always like for men, what I've noticed is that like a lot of the times it started off with a marriage and their wife left them for whatever reason. So now they're left alone and they don't know how to function by themselves. They feel useless. They feel hopeless. Whatever insecurities or whatever like feelings of like abandonment or whatever the hell may be that has now stirred up in them has now triggered them into becoming depending on alcohol or depending on drugs or whatever the hell may be. For women, a lot of the time that I've noticed, it comes from like sexual abuse, emotional abuse from, as I said, family members. And do you know what's so crazy? A lot of the time it's from family members. With the people that I've spoken to anyways, a lot of the time it stems from family members. Whether it's like their caregiver or their father or their uncle. So then because of that, from their childhoods, or either they grew up in an environment where their mother was an alcoholic, their father was abusive, or their father wasn't around, or their parents were in and out of jail. So like, do you know what I mean? Like those type of like environments. So then naturally they end up attracting those type of relationships themselves. So now you're wondering why every man that comes into your life is abusing you in some type of way, or either you wonder why you don't have a good relationship with your children. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then, do you know what I mean? Like things like that. And it's crazy because obviously as you get older, if you're not aware of those trauma triggers and those unhealthy habits, that solidifies your identity. The older you get, the harder it becomes to like change who you are in a sense and change your perception on life. Because like obviously as time goes on, you become more solidified in your experiences and in your relationships and stuff like that. And now you're just in a constant cycle of abuse and trauma and torture and suffering. And then now because you're in this situation that you ultimately can't get out of, because now like you're 40, 50, 60 years deep into this repetitive cycle. It's who you are now. It's your life now at this point. Do you get what I mean? And now you have to go out into the world. You're walking through town and people that don't know you from dust are now looking at you in disgust, looking at you as if like you're shit on the ground, looking at you like, do you know what I mean? Treating you as if you're not a human being with emotions and feelings, and that you yourself haven't been through some effed up shit, like. And then being around people that are so ignorant and speak down on these type of people, I don't know, like it really puts me off. It really does put me off. Now that's not I can't put blame on anybody, because actually I feel like we can, but if I put blame on this person now, that now opens up a can of worms. But we all know who I'm gonna put blame on. If you know, you know. But I can't necessarily put blame on society, because obviously a lot of us are just living in a system that most of like the masses aren't even aware that it is a system that they have been pushed in, that they have been brainwashed in. So a lot of us are just working in a system that was created to not benefit us in any way anyways. So because of that, you're going to end up adopting these ideologies and perceptions about certain types of people. That's because of how the system has been created and who created it. Yeah. So that's just that. The thing I want to talk about as well is the feeling that is like speaking up about being betrayed and the feeling that comes with that. I feel like we live in a society, especially like for men, that you kind of have to just firm things. You kind of have to just suck things up. Well, for men and women, to be honest with you. But you have to just like firm shit. And like, or like everyone's kind of maneuvering around life with like this like whole I don't give a F attitude. Like 0 F's given. I'm indestructible. You can't touch me. You can't trigger me. You can't. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of like moving. I'm nonchalant. Like I'm emotional. Like unemotional. Like do you know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of going around life with this attitude of I don't feel. You can't touch me. You can't trigger me. Da 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 da. But let's be honest with ourselves here. We all have emotions. We all have feelings. We all want to feel taken care of, to feel loved, to feel accepted, to feel appreciated. And being betrayed is like one of the biggest blows anybody could ever feel. And I've felt that myself in several relationships, from family members to friendships to romantic partners. Being betrayed, being hurt, it's a blow. Any relationship, I don't know. I guess some people could argue that like, oh, you should never really have expectations for people. I don't like that term. I don't like that. I won't lie to you. I'm gonna have expectations, but it's not even like high expectations. If we're gonna be in a relationship with each other in whatever form, I expect you to respect me. I expect you to be faithful to me. I expect you to have some type of loyalty towards me. I expect you to be kind to me. I expect you to be dependable and to be trustworthy, and vice versa. Because whatever I expect from you, I will also be able to deliver myself as well. And then when somebody breaks that, or breaks one of those components, especially trust, it's a big blow. And I think when you're constantly experiencing betrayal after hurt after hurt after hurt, I'm not surprised why society is the way it is now, where everyone struggles to trust each other. Like, I know for me, like, I have serious trust issues when it comes to human beings. And that means everybody. Like, I don't trust nobody in this life. I'll be so real, except myself and my universe and my spirit guides. That's it. Even the whole, like, fear of abandonment can come into play. And you could well be not aware that now you have these, like, and even like your attachment style can change as well significantly from either avoidant attachment or anxious attachment. And once again, a lot of this is unconscious. You're not aware of all of this happening. So I'm not surprised why society is the way it is and why there's so much toxicity within relationships, why there's so much conflict within relationships, why nobody seems to really like get along, or why it's so much harder to like develop healthy relationships with people. Because everyone is walking around with severe trust issues. Everyone's walking around with ridiculous attachment issues. Everyone's walking around with abandonment issues. To an extent, nobody wants to feel rejected. Nobody wants to feel hurt. Nobody wants to feel abandoned. Nobody wants to, do you know what I mean? And I said all this is subconscious. So how can anything thrive? How can anybody thrive? How can relationships thrive if everyone's walking around with these character flaws, character traits that have stemmed from betrayal and has stemmed from the people that you hold close into your life, has now broken that level of trust, broken that level of loyalty, broken that, do you know what I mean? Broken an element that you needed to feel secure and to feel safe in this relationship, and they have broken that, and it's happened to you on a consistent basis, bro. It's a recipe for disaster. And for your future relationships as well. It's a recipe for disaster. So I just feel like as a society, as a people then, we should be a bit more vulnerable with each other. And I know, and I'm speaking to myself as well, because like, this is something that I do need to work on as well. And I'm trying to, because like I'm even in this situation myself where like there is a individual that I'm attracted to, very, very, very attracted to. But I'm kind of on the fence right now of whether I should tell him or not, because it's like, I don't know, like because it's like in the past, I've told niggas that like, yo, I fuck with you, I like you, I'm interested in like developing a relationship with you, but it's always gone tits up. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, so I'm kind of on the fence whether I should tell him or not, because it's like, I don't want to tell him and risk this dynamic going left. But then if I don't tell him, I'm being inauthentic to myself and to this relationship, because I do have these feelings for you, and I'm pretending as if I don't. And it's actually putting more on a strain on our friendship or relationship more than anything. Because it's like, now I feel like I have to like tiptoe around you, or like my behavior towards you is not as authentic as I would like it to be. Conversation with you isn't as flowing or free flowing as I would like it to be, because now I'm on edge that like, oh, if I say this, if I speak certain type of way, that he'll get an inkling that I like him or what. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just putting so much stress on me right now. So I'm just in that weird space right now. So I know I need to just be a bad bitch about it and just say it. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. Do you know what I mean? If it's for you, it won't surpass you. If it's for you, it will be for you. But yeah, that's really it. That's kind of everything that I have to say. As once again, if you guys have any other like 2 cents that you want to add into the comments, please do. Anything else that I've said in this conversation, if you want to add your own input into it, please do. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that. Bye bye.